I sent you out of the country to think about your behavior. Instead, you brought back a...
Hi, I'm Liam.
You will never be a Davidson.
Daddy, calm down, okay? Don't be so angry. The kid is not the one to blame. Besides, he's your grandson.
Natalie, are you in there?
Nick? A night before her wedding, Natalie had got too drunk. If Nick was at the door, who was in the shower? The mess in the room was evidence of what had happened there. Natalie didn't know how to explain. How could she have lost her virginity under such strange circumstances? What should she do? She couldn't bear to stay in this room even a second longer. She hurriedly picked up her clothes from the floor and rushed home. But bigger surprises awaited her.
How? How could you do that?
Natalie's father, Tom, was furious. She knew she wasn't going to get any support from her family either. Her stepmother never liked her. She was truly enjoying Natalie's ruin. And her stepsister Cheryl, they were never really close. Nick was the only one who could have understood her. But her pleas fell on deaf ears. Natalie tried to explain, but even she couldn't understand how she could have mistaken the stranger for Nick. Was she really that drunk? Was this truly just an accident? Or was she missing a crucial clue? She had rushed out of the hotel in panic without even checking who the man was. And now she had no way to prove herself innocent.
Nick, I don't even know who that man was. I was just really drunk. And when he came into the room, I thought it was you.
What a load of crap. I mean, oh my God, do you actually believe that?
Natalie couldn't believe her ears. They had been together for 3 years and were about to get married. With a look of pure disdain, he turned around and strode off down the corridor.
The wedding's off.
Natalie started panicking as tears rolled down her cheeks.
Cheryl, please help me. I need to figure this out. It's not my fault. Believe me, please.
I believe you, honey. Of course I know you're innocent. 'Cause I set you up.
She was set up. Her life was ruined by her own sister. Meanwhile, in his office at the Claire Group, Bryce was looking at his assistant. He had just received proof that last night he was set up, probably by his business rivals. He was drugged and sent to a different room than the one he had booked for himself. The girl had been brought in the same room earlier that night, and she too seemed drugged. Under the influence, Bryce and that girl had lost their senses.
So what do we do now? Now?
Natalie was getting one shock after another. How did Cheryl get this video? Why was she doing this to her? At the party last night, Cheryl had secretly spiked Natalie's drink. When the drugs kicked in, she pretended to help Natalie to her room, but actually took her to someone else's room, telling her that Nick was waiting for her with a surprise.
I don't understand. Why did you do this to me?
Because I want Nick.
Natalie's world had fallen apart. Her stepsister was in love with her fiancé, and she was ready to go to any lengths to have him. Natalie was so angry that she couldn't utter a single word. Her whole body was trembling with fury. She rushed forward hysterically and wrapped her hands around Cheryl's neck. Hearing the commotion, her father rushed out angrily.
Natalie, get off her! Are you crazy?
But she set me up.
How dare you accuse my daughter? You are just as vile as your mother was.
Unable to bear the pain any longer, she was on the verge of tears.
From now on, you're no longer my daughter.
What do you mean? Dad.
You disappointed me twice today. You're no longer worthy of this family. Pack your things and get out.
Natalie's father was an egoistic man, and he was deeply embarrassed when Nick canceled the wedding. He told Natalie to pick up her stuff and leave the country immediately. Natalie thought of her mother and her childhood, but no matter how hard she wished, she could never return to that time. Cheryl continued to pretend that she was innocent and gloated as she watched Natalie get kicked out of her house in a sorry state. Bryce told his assistant to go and check the identity of the woman who was in the room, but the assistant couldn't find her because at the same time, Natalie was being sent away. She had been exiled without knowing when she could return, but one question kept nagging her. 9 years had passed since she had been exiled. Her father treated her like she was dead and as if he couldn't care less about it. But last night, she had received a call from him asking her to come back. He just said it was urgent. She was on her way home, but this time she wasn't alone. Lost in her thoughts, she suddenly heard a lovely, gentle voice beside her.
Grandma, the prince gonna leave without us.
So what? We'll walk.
It was Liam, her son, her most precious treasure. Only after she left the country did Natalie realize that she was pregnant. Although she was all alone, Natalie decided to raise him on her own. Liam had never known who his father was. Now that Natalie was going back, she had decided to find that man after all.
Here are your tickets.
Thank you.
First class? Yes, so right there.
Seriously? First class for a kid? What is this, a plane or a daycare?
I'm sorry.
Never mind. Hey, Mike, exchange those tickets. I don't pay for expensive tickets to listen to some kid scream for 6 hours.
My son is well behaved, unlike some adults.
Oh, yeah, because most 3-year-olds are known for their
Actually, I'm 4.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's worse.
What's your tone with my child?
Natalie couldn't believe the audacity of this man, and they got into an argument. At that moment, neither Bryce nor Natalie recognized each other. They didn't realize that while the two of them were arguing, Liam was looking at the man intently, and he noticed something. He stood quiet for 2 seconds before hurling himself at Bryce and then shouted,
Daddy?
Liam, don't joke about that.
Natalie and Bryce were completely taken aback. Why did Liam call the man Daddy? And then Liam told her about their identical scars. Natalie was shocked. Bryce's expression instantly turned ugly. No matter how much she tried to persuade him, Liam continued to question Bryce for abandoning his mom. Bryce had known many women who had claimed to be pregnant with his child, but this was the first time he had ever seen such a clever and affectionate son. He was sure she was after his money. Natalie was fuming as Bryce kept throwing such vile accusations at her. And then he said something that triggered her.
How could you even think about bringing a kid into this world with no hope of a stable family? Look at this, Mike. Look what we got here. Mother of the Year.
How dare you speak to me and my son like this? Because you're the right. You think because you're rich, you're better than me? Well, you're not. Come on, Liam.
Natalie ignored the fuming man and went on her way. No woman had ever put Bryce in his place before. They were all infatuated with his strength and authority. But for the first time, he had met his match, and he was amused by her. But they had no idea that their fates were already intertwined. But a few hours later, none of this mattered. Natalie was returning to her hometown without a clue of what had happened there. As she led Liam out of the airport, she bumped into Cheryl and Nick, who had come to pick her up, and the fog started to lift.
Hey, Natalie! Finally! We've been waiting for you!
Cheryl held Nick's hand and smiled, leaning on his shoulder. Natalie thought that she no longer felt anything for them. But after seeing this, the hatred in her heart skyrocketed. Her stepsister and her ex-fiancé were getting married.
Hey, mister, you dropped this.
Did it drop or did you pull it?
You're so young and you're already stealing. Where are your parents?
Liam would never take something from someone. He was just giving you back your wallet. Unless this is one of your ugly schemes.
Before Nick and Cheryl could humiliate them further, Natalie jumped in to say that Liam was her son. Their shock was evident. Cheryl had countless questions in her mind. She hadn't even heard that Natalie was married, so where had he come from?
Wait. Don't tell me you cheated on Nick, had him after. That's just
Nick, who had been standing beside his fiancée without saying anything, called Liam illegitimate.
If you say that again, you'll get a second one.
The slap was loud and clear.
And that goes for you too.
How dare you? You think just because you're a woman I won't do anything to you?
Don't touch my mom.
Nick was already furious, but now his rage increased.
It's your mom's fault that you have to grow up without a father. And you're calling us bad? Great parenting skills.
Hey, Steve. Hey, what? We're looking for you everywhere. I was getting worried.
Dad!
Hey, little man. Oh!
When Liam saw Bryce, he hugged him excitedly. Natalie hadn't expected the man who had been so rude to her to actually help her. When Liam said daddy, both Nick and Cheryl froze. They had thought Liam was illegitimate, the son of Natalie and that other man. They hadn't expected her to actually find a man abroad, let alone one who looked rich and important. Natalie didn't know why he was helping her, but she took his cue and grabbed his arm. Cheryl stood at his side, her face filled with undisguised jealousy. How had Natalie gotten involved with such a man?
Thanks for your help.
Yeah, those two are mean.
I just didn't like what they were saying, that's all.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Natalie shushed him. She didn't know why he believed this man was his father, nor did she know how to explain Bryce's actions. She explained to Liam that this man had only stepped in to stop those mean people from bullying him, but Liam wasn't backing down.
Liam, stop it. You can't just call someone dad.
Why not? It's him.
Liam!
Okay. To have a baby with a woman, she has to be at least a little bit attractive. And, that's not your mom.
These words stabbed Natalie's sore spot. She had been grateful to him for saving her, but now it seemed there was no difference between him and Nick.
Stop the car.
She didn't want to say anything else. Bryce looked at her in confusion. When the car stopped, she got out, removed their luggage, took $100 from her wallet, and threw it on the car seat.
It's for the ride. Thanks for your help. I hope I never see you again.
When was the last time a woman had spoken to him so bluntly? Not even when he was being rude to them. He gritted his teeth and gestured to the driver to drive. Natalie didn't go straight to the family home after getting out of Bryce's car. Instead, she took a cab to another place.
Natalie, is that really Granny?
Natalie quickly stepped forward to hug her granny. Her heart warmed and her eyes filled with tears.
Hello, sweetie.
What you need?
Hi, I'm Liam.
Her grandmother was the closest person in the world to her. Naturally, she was overjoyed to see her precious granddaughter and delighted to meet Liam. She doted on him, wishing that she could keep him locked up in her heart. After a really long time, Natalie was able to breathe freely in a safe space. Natalie stayed at her grandma's for the night. She was happy to come back to the place she had spent her childhood in. After a long time, she didn't feel alone in this world. She felt good here, and nothing could destroy this euphoria. Nothing except...
Hey again, sis. We need to be fine.
I don't think we have anything else to talk about. Please just leave me alone.
Hold on. Look, we didn't exactly plan on coming here.
Yeah, Daddy asked us to come, and he wants to see you right away.
But, of course, it's your call.
She didn't want to have anything to do with her family anymore, but she still hadn't made this clear, so she needed to talk to her father face to face. The car soon arrived at the family home. Natalie saw that the yard was pretty much the same as it had been when she left, but the situation was different now. She could no longer face these people with a calm demeanor as she had before. Her stepmother came hurrying over, putting on a warm and gentle expression.
How was your flight? Are you hungry?
Say that. I know you don't like me.
Is that a way to talk to your mother?
Tom's sullen voice came from the living room. For the past 9 years, they hadn't cared about her in the least, but now they were showing all this enthusiasm.
I sent you out of the country to think about your behavior. Instead, you brought back a
I'm Liam.
You will never be a Davidson.
Daddy, calm down, okay? Don't be so angry. The kid is not the one to blame. Besides, he's your grandson.
She purposely emphasized the word grandson because she knew this would make Tom even angrier. No one knew what it had been like for Natalie to be exiled abroad. She had been so poor before Liam was born that she sometimes had no money to eat and nowhere to sleep. But no one had called her to ask if she was doing okay. And now they had the audacity to reject her son.
Liam is my son. I don't care if you accept him or not. I only came back because you called me. I'll go to the engagement party. But I'm leaving as soon as it's over.
She had worked hard to rise up as a fighter. She had stopped caring what other people thought of her. Natalie was expressionless as she looked at her family. The bitterness in her chest bubbled up, but she forced it back down. She had thought her father might react like this, but when she saw it in person, she couldn't help but feel pain. She had no feelings about all this but disgust, so she casually agreed and then turned around and left with Liam. She left the home that she had lived in for 20 years without a shred of nostalgia. But on the way out, she was stopped.
Natalie, wait.
What do you want? Did you come out here to insult me even more?
Look, I gotta ask you something. What did you mean yesterday about Cheryl's another ugly scheme?
What?
She hadn't thought he would remember the words she had used in anger.
I mean, what gives you the right to say that about her? You were the one that tried to deceive me behind my back.
Are you done? Listen to me. Never bring up what happened back then. It was a setup. And you just walked away without asking a single question. After all those years together, you didn't trust me.
All this while, Nick hadn't taken his eyes off Liam. He was clearly affected seeing Natalie in the arms of another man yesterday. After all, they had been together for many years before Nick decided to call off the wedding. He still somewhere had feelings for her.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean you were set up? Natalie, answer me. What do you mean you were set up?
Will Natalie finally reveal the painful truth to Nick? What will happen when Nick finds out the shocking truth? How will Natalie take her long-awaited revenge on her stepsister?
To listen to the full audio series, install the Pocket FM app now.